Good afternoon, everyone. We are so excited that you all have joined us on today. We will be talking today about STEM majors, interviewing like a tiger, and we are so excited you're here. Myself and Shelia Moses are excited that you're with us, and so we're going to go ahead and begin. Thank you for following the instructions and turning off your video for the moment. We will let you know when we're ready for you to turn your camera on. So our agenda for today, we're going to be talking about interviewing preparation, the day of the interview, following up after the interview, and then we're going to have a practice interviewing session at the end. So please stay online. We have a lot of great information for you. Our learning objectives for today, you're going to learn strategies to prepare for an interview, how to answer interview questions using the STAR method, how to follow up appropriately after your interview, and then how to practice your interviewing skills. This session will help you with our learning and professional outcomes that will help you grow your professional and strategic planning, your self-awareness and personal behavior, and communication and digital technology. These are some traits and skills that employers look for in students as they hire in different companies. This is your team, myself. I am your STEM career specialist. I support the College of Arts and Sciences STEM majors and the Herf College of Engineering. And Shelia Moses, she'll be speaking with you momentarily regarding, and she's the Academic Services Coordinator too in the Herf College of Engineering. Shelia, do you want to say hello right now?
Hello, everyone. Welcome to our workshop today.
So I just want to tell you briefly about what we do. In career services, as well as with Shelia Moses, we assist students by helping you get ready for that transition from college to career. And so we assist you with services including resume reviews, mock interviews, the elevator pitch, preparation, and connecting you to employers through various platforms via information sessions, career fairs, one-on-one meetings, and then internships and job search. So these are the things that we help you do. And so we would love to help every STEM student at the University of Memphis with these things. You signed up for this event possibly with TigerLink, which is it's powered by Handshake. And we just want to make sure that everyone utilizes this. This allows you to connect with employers, and it allows you to set up your profile so that employers can reach out to you as well. So if you have not put your profile picture there or filled out your detailed information on your work history or your skills, we encourage you to do that. But this is a place where you will make appointments with me, as well as find out about jobs and events. And under the Career Center, this is where you will make an appointment with me. In addition to, if you want your resume reviewed, after reviewing the STEM resumes, you will do that by clicking under your name, and there's a button that says Documents. So everyone has an account on Handshake, and we want to make sure you all use that system effectively. So I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Shelia Moses. She will be talking about preparation. And so Shelia, I turn it over to you.
Thank you. Again, good afternoon, everyone. And so my part, I'm going to talk about preparation and getting ready for the interview. So some of the things, what to do before the interview. Once you get the interview, what are you going to do during the interview? And what kind of follow-up after the interview. So right now we're going to take a moment for you to put in the chat, what have you done in the past to prepare for an interview? So please type your answers in the chat box, and we will discuss some of those things, and then I will go over some other things with you. So I need for you to participate, please. So think about some things that you've done.
Okay.
So we have some, you searched, do research on the company, you search some questions, read tips online, tried the STAR method, researched the company of interest. So I think all of you all have attended some of our workshops before. So that's very good. General interview questions, connect to personnel individually. All right, so great answers. Everything that you said are things that Dr. Meeks and I told you to do, what employers would have told you to do. So one of the #1 complaints that we sometimes get from employers are that candidates are not prepared. But seem like you all are going to be prepared because some of the things that you put in the chat, that you're already doing some of the things that we would discuss. So how do you do the research? Research key people. We have on the screen on LinkedIn. Check for who's the HR representatives, who's the hiring managers. You can meet a lot of these people by going on their website, attending information sessions that we have on campus, whether in engineering or some that Dr. Meeks have through career services. There's so many opportunities to get connections and learn about the company. But the #1 thing and the easiest thing to do is go to their website, become familiar with the company and the industry. You want to know what kind of products, what's their basic products, what services do they offer. And then also you want to see what's their mission, what's their values and everything. And see what kind of career paths do they have. You know, what kind of plans do you have for the future, whether it's for an internship or you applying for a full-time, your first entry-level position. To know their career path. What would an intern be doing? Different things like that you can find out on the website, or as other employers, you may already know someone who works there. But so the basic things, do the research on the key people. I've had a lot of students who have looked on LinkedIn, found out something about a particular person, and you may have a common interest, maybe in the same fraternity or sorority, or that person may have played a sport. So you'll have that affinity connection. Again, browse the company website, ask questions, let it be very relevant questions. That from the research that you've done or that you have gotten from other people who work there. Use the different search engines and read related publications. A company that have just done a merger with somebody or acquisition, or they got a new product that's coming out. If it's a medical device company, especially with COVID and everything's going on, so many new companies are developing so many new products. That there may be some publications. So make sure you do your homework. So those are some key things to do. Research not only the company, but you want to research key people to find out some background information. Browse the company website, ask questions, use search engines, and read whatever kind of related publications or articles. Again, how to prepare. Kind of talked about some of it in the previous slide, but research and understand how to answer various type of questions. Utilize LinkedIn Learning. If you have not used it, try to get on it the rest of the remaining summer. There's a lot of resources out there. I know the university is offering it. I'm not for sure for students, but if you have a LinkedIn account, you can join in. It's free, the LinkedIn Learning, to do different modules and everything. And then outline your responses. So think of some questions and stuff that they may ask you, or some of the things that you did research, and kind of outline your responses, how they may ask you things. So kind of separate it about why do you want to work there? What's your interest in that company? What do you want to do? Where do you see yourself? So kind of outline your responses so you won't just be all over the place. And then practice, practice, practice. You cannot get enough practice. Practice interviewing. That's one of the reasons why we're doing this today, to prepare you for the Mock interviews coming up in a few weeks with employers. Role play with a friend, one of your peers in your classes or someone else or a family member. Schedule a mock interview. I know Dr. Meeks and Career Services, they offer them throughout the semester. Or record yourself. There's different techniques online and videos. You can go to YouTube and see how to do a mock interview. And and then just record yourself. And then use the STAR method. I think somebody put Julius Muhammad. He said, try the STAR method and research the company heavily. So the STAR method, we're going to go into more details about it. But if someone already know what the STAR method is, what STAR stands for, put it in the chat for me. Just want to see who already knows what STAR is. And then Dr. Meeks is going to discuss it more. Practice. Practice relieves the anxiety and builds your confidence. The more we practice, the more we study something, we'll be prepared. So you won't feel like you're going in unprepared. So practice what you're going to say. Practice your answer. And we had another workshop a couple of weeks ago, and we got other little tips, simple things as make sure you have eaten something, depending on what time you interview. Have a balanced meal. You don't want to eat anything that's going to make you hyper, so a lot of sugar or anything. Watch how you make sure you dress properly for that interview, especially even if it's online these days. You got to take all that into consideration, your appearance, your background, where you are, and everything. But the main thing is just practice. So what type of interview questions will there be? There's different ones. There's the traditional. This is going to answer about what's your goals? What are your values? What are your strengths and your weakness? And then qualifications. I used to hate the ones on strengths and weakness, but those can be catchy because you find yourself talking about, oh, my strength may be this, or my weakness may be I procrastinate. Those are not the type of things that an employer wants to hear. We want to talk about, look at that job description and see, oh yes, I'm really good at AutoCAD or whatever it is, or team building, encouraging my peers to do something. So you may be the team leader. My weakness is I'm not so good in this work in the job. So you want, I'm improving because I've taken this course. So you want, if it's that weakness, you want to come back with what you're doing to compensate for that weakness. A behavior, that specific examples or experience related to the job. Highlight your experience and coursework. And be specific. A lot of times you may not have the work experience. That's when you can bring in your project, your senior design, your capstone courses, other things that you've done. But be specific. And we're going to go further into that in this presentation. And then there's another type of interview questions called situational. That's your analytical and problem-solving skills used on the jobs. As engineers, as computer scientists, all STEM majors, you're very analytical. So you're going to have to utilize that. Short notice and minimum preparation, hypothetical situation. With that short notice and minimum preparation, you got to be flexible. So those are some types of interview questions, as well as case. That's an example of that when an interview asks to solve a problem or asks you to complete a test. So that will be given to you during the interview. So you have to be prepared for any of these types of interview questions. I'm sure a lot of you all have heard, tell me about yourself. What do I tell an interviewer about me? Do I talk about my personal life? Do I say, well, I graduated from the University of Memphis with these degrees, I'm married, or what information do I tell? You don't want to tell all of that. It may be okay in some situations, but you want to tell about what you're doing now. Hi, I'm Shelia Moses. I'm a student in Herf College of Engineering, majoring in mechanical engineering. I'm a junior. This is what I want to do. I'm very interested in automotives or something. I want to work for NASCAR, whomever. So those kind of things and what you're doing and what you desire to do in the future. So what tool do you have already? Do you already have to answer this common interview questions and pitch yourself? Next slide, please. So tell me about yourself. That's your elevator pitch. It's a great response to this common interview question, except you have longer than that 10 to 30 seconds that we normally say for an elevator pitch. So in that, tell me about yourself, you need to remember to include, study the job description. What is this job description asking for? It may ask for a certain type of person. Am I a junior? At least a junior, if that's the minimum qualification. Or did I graduate from this degree? Do I have this work experience? Make sure you include experience that focus on the job. Yes, I've gotten CAD experience from working in this, or I design things, I have a hobby. So include some of those things that may not be from academic experience or work experience that you just do in your everyday life because you have an interest in that. And then thirdly, tie your goals to working with the company. So what can you bring to the company? What do you see yourself doing? So what are your goals to help advance that company's mission? And also remember to include, keep it very professional. Sometimes the interview, you may know the person or they may seem very laid back and lax. Don't you get so lax and laid back and informal with them. You want to keep it very formal and try to keep it as professional as possible. Again, stick to what you have to offer, what your goals, and what you seek to get out of this opportunity, whether it's an internship or entry-level position. Don't volunteer that personal information. They don't need to know if you're married, single, siblings, girlfriend, somebody else who work at the company. We had someone before tell about their father-in-law worked at the company. Well, we don't know if that father has a good reputation with that company or not, or a good relationship. So you just don't want to volunteer any personal information. And then highlight your relevant education, experiences, and accomplishments. So if I'm a candidate who may have other degrees, background, something totally different than in the field that I'm doing now, or it's been zillion of years, if that's not relevant at the time, I don't need to discuss that. I just need to discuss what I'm doing now, my relevant education that's related directly to this job, my experiences and accomplishments. Sometimes we may be too shy or don't feel like we want to boast or brag about our accomplishments, but if it's appropriate, talk about them, especially if you can quantify them. Oh, yes, in my internship or in my other job, I was able to accomplish this, or no, I was received this recommendation or something from doing this. So you want to highlight any experiences and accomplishments that you've done. You know, you may have reduced something or increased sales on your job. Highlight those kind of things. Speak about transferable skills that relate to the job descriptions. And we will talk more about what are transferable skills. Again, it may not be something that you learned in the classroom, or that you may be skills that you picked up from somewhere else, but they can relate to what's going on in this job description. And tell it in chronological order. So what you're doing now, the most recent, and then go backwards. And again, we keep talking about your goals. It's important for you to tie your goals to working with the company. and we'll practice on how do you tie your goals in. So we got a little scenario right here now. Tell me about yourself. Good afternoon, Mr. Jones. My name is Pat Smith. I am a senior biomedical engineering major at the University of Memphis, where I will graduate in May 2021. Currently, I serve as president of the Biomedical Research Association and vice president of the Society of Women Engineers. Recently, I completed an internship with Wright Medical, a local medical device company, and developed a new technique for joints and knee replacements. I am interested in learning more about job opportunities in the biomedical field. I noticed you have multiple positions posted on your website. What advice would you give a student looking to enter your career field? Again, you see how Pat, she described who she is. She's a senior biomedical engineering major, when she's going to graduate. So now as the HR or somebody interviewing, they were thinking, she's coming out in May 2021. Now this fall is the time that I'm going to be recruiting for May graduates hire. So she's already disclosed that. Now she's showing that she has experience. She's a president of association and vice president of the Women's Society. So they know she's actively engaged and involved. Plus she's got experience because she's already has completed an internship with a medical device company. So that's key. And another one that I don't have highlighted, again, showing her accomplishments. She's already developed a new technique for joints and knee replacement. So stuff like that will be something that you want to highlight when you discussing yourself. And then she's asking them to tell her about the company. So you can move it forward, thanks. So let's practice. I want you to draft to tell me about yourself. Your response should be no longer than 60 seconds and touch on how Ms. Smith did, your education, your experience and skills, your goals, how are they relevant to the company, and then end with an open-ended question. So you have a few how long, Dr. Meeks, did we say they have to do that?
Well, we said we're gonna just let one person volunteer to try it.
Okay, so do we have a volunteer? And you can turn your camera on. If not, we will randomly ask someone, but we'd like for someone to volunteer, please.
So you can raise your hand if you're interested in being the volunteer, if you know how to do that, or hit the emoji.
Down on reactions. You can raise your hands on reactions.
Let's see, who said, nobody's saying they want to do it. Come on, I know one person. I'm about to call someone out. John David, you want to try it? He probably like, you call me? Yes, John David is gonna do it. Thank you, John. Okay. So do you need the slide up with the example, or you think you can do it?
Let's leave the slide, please.
Okay, let me go back to it. Thank you, John David. Okay, let's go.
Someone else get prepared.
Okay, let's see. All right. Hi, good afternoon, Dr. Meeks and Ms. Moses. My name is John David Ross, and I am a junior biomedical engineering major at the University of Memphis, and I'm planning on graduating in May of 2022. Currently, I serve as a treasurer for the Biomedical Engineering Society and the treasurer for the National Society of Black Engineers. And I hope to land an internship position with you, Medtronic or Smith & Nephew. I have experience with machine design, fabrication, computer-aided drafting, and what are you looking for in an ideal candidate?
I think that was awesome.
Thank you, David. Great job.
I was a little bit nervous, but you know, got to do it.
Yeah, you did. Okay, who else is we're gonna try one more. Great job, David. I think you covered everything. Sheila, I'm gonna turn it back over to you. I'm excited that he took the challenge.
Yes. Okay, we have one more student.
I'm gonna let you volunteer somebody. The names.
Who is Miss, is
That's
this Tanisha? I don't see the full last name. Tanisha? Are you available? If not, I'm gonna, somebody who has commented.
I want a young lady. Come on, young lady, step up. Don't be shy. Come on.
Sirisha, are you calling Sirisha?
Is this Tanisha?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Can you turn your camera on, Tanisha?
So you want me to introduce myself?
Yes, I can't see you though. Is your camera on?
Yeah. I'll switch on the camera.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, hello. I'm Sirisha Lamla, and I'm pursuing my MIS, MIS in the MIS department. Sorry. I'm pursuing MIS, and I'm from Fogelman, and I'm from India. I had 1 year experience as a data analyst, and I'm planning to graduate in 2021 August, and I'm interested in analytics field. That's why I'm into masters in MIS. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. So Tanisha, I may have missed it. Do you have experience already in MIS that you've done as an intern or undergraduate assistant or something in Fogelman? I think I may have missed that part.
Just I finished my first semester in MIS,
Okay.
and I'm planning to do intern if possible.
Okay.
And currently I'm learning some courses like Java and Python to improve my skills.
Okay. And that may be something, if you don't have it, you can, discuss that. I'm currently, learning Java and other things to, improve my skills. And especially sometimes I tell students, if you're taking extra courses or doing something online that may not be taught in the curriculum, employers like to see that you're taking that initiative to improve yourself. So John David and Tanisha, thank you both. Those were some both excellent examples, and I'm glad we had a biomedical, someone in engineering, and then a MIS, computer science, that IT type of person. So thank you both. Does anyone have any comments about this section? Okay.
Okay.
So we'll move on. So now the transferable skills that I mentioned earlier. What's transferable skills? And I'm sure if you've been to any of our resume workshop sessions that we've done or Dr. Meeks done, she's talked about these. We've talked about them. What can you put on your resume? These are some things that employers look for. Like one, the physical presence and appearance. Well, not all of them put on your resume, but some things that you can do. And the physical presence and appearance, your attendance, your presence, being punctual. And believe it or not, sometimes when employers are on campus, a lot of times I will use International Paper as an example. They're on campus just in the fall semester, probably for 3 or 4 events, if not more. They're taking note of who those computer engineering, computer science, MIS students, business students are attending their social events that we have, get to know IP branding days. And the more they see you, they're gonna remember you. Oh yes, I remember seeing Tanisha at the fall career fair. So they may invite you to other events. So your presence is very important. The hiring managers and HR people, they take note of that. Again, be punctual, dependable, dress appropriately, again, for the job. And we can't stress enough, although you may be going to a job site where the people wear jeans or polo, it doesn't mean you have to dress like that for the interview. We still want you to be professional dressed at all times, and then let them tell you how to come dress. And your personal hygiene and grooming. We shouldn't have to say that, but sometimes that's important to say. You want to be well groomed. Attitude is very key. The body language. You don't want to be, if you're sitting, slouched down. You want to give a firm handshake. Have that positive mindset about life. You don't end talking about, oh, life is giving me a hard blow, or this is going on. Everybody have life challenges. Again, that positive mindset. Positive attitude towards coworkers. You don't want to badmouth your peers or another coworker. And demonstrate self-confidence. They want to see somebody who's confident, self-assured, take initiatives. And then thirdly, you have to have that work ethic. You know, what's your work ethic? Are you meeting deadlines? Are you striving to reach 95% or more of quality or mastery of whatever test that you're doing? And that work ethic, it doesn't matter if you the cart person at Kroger's getting the carts off the parking lot. What's your work ethic? What customer service? Or if you're the CEO of a company, you got to have that same mindset. Your communication skills, that's verbal, written, body language, listening, and language. You got to be strong in communications. And some years ago, we do a employer focus study, and communication sometimes get to STEM students. Excuse me. So that's very important that you continue to practice your verbal, written, and body language. And we incorporate a lot of that into classworks now, while you have to do presentations and different things. Again, teamwork. They want you to be able to work as an individual, but it's important to be able to work as a team, to show respect for others. And not just being respectful towards them, but respect their ideas, what they bring to the table and stuff too. You may not always agree, but respect their thoughts. Cooperate with others, manage challenges, and train each other. Then your work behavior. There's different work behaviors, prepare to work for work each day. Focus on what's tasked. Are you organized? Do you keep your work area organized? So different things like that, but leadership is key. What are you doing as a student leader? John David, he's treasuring National Society of Black Engineers. He's treasurer of the Biomedical Engineering Society, other things. So think of leadership skills that you're doing, whether in your community or in your school or other things. And you want to put those on your resumes. You want to talk about it. How are you stepping up as a leader? Are you planning events? Are you assigning tests to others? Are you respecting others? And then character development. Are you loyal to your employer? Are you just constantly jumping from employer to other only because I got paid 50 cents more? Or, you know, things like that. Are you showing your loyalty while you're there? Then just being morals. Again, it's all about that character development, goes back to ethics, whether it's in work or whatever situation. And then judgment. A lot of times in the interview and the behavior interviews, they asking you stuff to see how your judgment is. And that judgment is where you demonstrate safe work behavior, demonstrate problem solving. Again, those analytical skills coming into play. Demonstrate good decision making. And again, a lot of that judgment is behavior. Of course, you know, how do you make decisions? Are you somebody that's going to blow up right then about something, or do you think about it before you act on it? Evaluate your work quality standards. You know, is my work up to quality that I'm turning into my supervisor, or enough to get by? So those kind of things. And then am I respecting my workspace? Am I respecting others? Am I respecting the resources that the university provide me? So those, you want to take those transferable skills and use them in your interview, use them on your resume from just different areas of your life. All right, Dr. Meeks. So now, in the chat box, I want you all, we want everybody to participate. Give at least one transferable skill you know you have and where you've utilized that skill. And please type that answer in your check box. Again, it can come from something you do in the community, or if you work at Kroger or FedEx, or in your student organization that you may be a leader in, if you're a tutor, the different things. So I want to see different chat boxes filling up. And while you thinking of one, I'm going to ask Dr. Meeks to give an example that she can verbally say it.
Okay, thank you for calling me out. But I think I can handle it. Okay, so I would say for me, teamwork, just as a career specialist at the University of Memphis, we have to work with the other career specialists. You and I are collaborating on this particular event, but specifically in the career services, when we have the All Majors Career Fair, we all have a role to play in making sure that event is successful. And so we would have to respect one another. We have to cooperate to make sure everything's set up the way that it needs to be to receive the students. And so just teamwork will be one that we use a lot. We help and train new employees when they come in, and we may each have a strength, and we try to train one another. So that is one that we have used. You probably have used some of them in classes as far as working on a project. So right now I don't see anything in the chat. So I'm like waiting on students to respond. So we're waiting on you. I know I put the list back up so that you can see one that may work, something in leadership or teamwork or attitude or work ethic. All right, we're waiting.
No one has anything. Okay.
Okay, they're coming. They're typing.
I
Okay, they're having to put a little sentence. All right. Okay, Madeline. Awesome. I'm the president of the Women in Computing organization at the University of Memphis. Acting as president, I have organized events and learned how to delegate tasks to fellow officers. That's great. Yes.
That's great.
You want to do the next one, Sheila?
Is that Joshua Harding?
Mm-hmm.
Communication started as a valet entertaining guests, finished as property manager, teaching new hires to entertain guests and properly check them in. So Joshua has strong communications skills.
Yes.
Thank you, Joshua. That's good. And so as an interview, you can talk about how, you know, you relate to customer service really well. So strong customer service. And then David, I was able to use leadership while serving as the chief operation officer of my own startup last year, in which I was able to assign various roles to my team, train 2 software programmers that was hired to our team, connect my team with various startup companies and venture capitalists here in Memphis. So he's got a lot of leadership skills. He's connecting, he's doing teamwork. So John, I definitely want to see all that on your resume the next time I see you. So thank you all for those examples. And we have, again, on the STEM resource page, you have all this type of stuff. So we're going to continue to move on. And at this time, Dr. Meeks is going to take over.
All right, thank you, Ms. Moses. And Cody, thank you for providing your leadership, and Milka on teamwork. We are excited that you all are participating, and we will be able to save this chat and just know a little bit more about you. So now I'm going to talk about behavior questions specifically, because that is what the STAR method uses. We use the STAR method to answer these types of questions. So these types of questions include examples like, tell me about a time you disagreed with someone at work. Share an example when you had to motivate your classmates or coworkers. Tell me about a time you made a mistake and how you handled it. Tell me about a time you worked well under pressure. And then share an accomplishment, share an example of an accomplishment you are proud of and why. So all of these are types of questions that it doesn't matter if you don't have an internship, if you have not worked a job, you can find a situation that you can answer this type of question. And so in order to answer these, we use what's called the STAR method. The STAR method asks you to make sure you have 4 parts filled out when you answer a question. The situation. Tell us about the who, what, when, where, and how. And then the task. What were your responsibilities as it relates to the situation? And then the action. What did you do? How did you solve it? How did you come to a conclusion? And then finally, the outcome of the situation and how you contributed. That means that what was the result? And then what caused that result to be considered successful or not. It doesn't matter if you give these types of answers, but you leave out one part, you haven't completely answered the question. So interviewers want you to give the situation, tell what your responsibilities are in the task, and then actually what did you do to solve it, and then the result. And when you answer that way, then you won't make the interviewer work so hard to prompt you, but they want to be sure that you know exactly what you were involved in. Because when you give an example, they don't want you to say, my team did this, we did this, everybody did this. Even though you may have been in a team environment, they want to know specifically what you did. They want to know exactly how you were engaged in solving this problem. And so here it is in another format. Just remember, as you're answering these questions, anytime they're asking you to give a situation, give an example, you want to think STAR. Give the situation, the task, the action, and the results. And so here's an example of a video I want you all to watch. And then we're going to, towards the end, we're actually going to practice. So I want you to look at these examples. And I'm going to have to reshare my screen to make sure you all can see it. So give me 1 second. Can you see my screen? And this, if you have questions as we are, if you have questions, definitely you can type it in the chat.
Well, the first one that comes to mind was a situation at university.
Okay, this is not the first one. I need to go to the first part. Sorry about that. Trying to wait till it refresh. I should have had it queued. I apologize.
Another key interview technique used is behaviour-based interviewing. The theory behind this technique is that the best indicator of future behaviour is past behaviour. When an interviewer asks you to describe a situation in which you
Okay, sorry about that. Trying to make it bigger.
do maintain eye contact with all panel members and
Okay, we are having technical difficulties. It's jumping around. I apologize for that. Hopefully I can get it queued up correctly in just one moment. Okay.
Another key interview technique used is behaviour-based interviewing. The theory behind this technique is that the best indicator of future behaviour is past behaviour. When an interviewer asks you to describe a situation in which you were involved, they are looking at how you respond using a specific example. Think STAR. The STAR model breaks answers into 3 segments. 1. Description of a situation or task. 2. The action you took. And 3. The final measurable result. It's very important that all aspects of the STAR format are used. It won't help your case at all if you thoroughly describe the situation but forget to indicate the result. Likewise, it's no good explaining how well it turned out if you haven't first given a clear picture of the situation and the role you played in solving the problem. Let's look at a STAR question in action in a panel interview.
Alex, could you please provide us with an example of a difficult situation or problem that you faced and how you went about resolving that problem and what the outcome was?
Whenever difficult things come up, I always manage to get a good end result.
That's good to know.
Okay, look, can you give us a specific example of a problem you've faced and talk us through how you handled it?
Well, whenever we have group assignments to complete at uni, there's always someone who doesn't pick up the slack. And you've always got to make sure that it's all complete, otherwise you don't get a good mark. Where was I? Yeah, I always end up with a good result, so that's why people want me in their group.
When we look at Alex's body language, he's clearly not engaged. To the panel, this indicates that Alex is not keen to be there and is not enthusiastic about the job. Also, Alex appears overly confident, almost dismissive. It could be that Alex is nervous and that's why he is behaving this way. But unfortunately, the panel can only make a decision based on their own observations. So Alex needs to be more aware of how he's coming across, both in his answers and his non-verbal communication. And don't forget to always switch off your mobile. When we look at how Alex answered the question, he wasn't thinking STAR. No specific situation task was described. The panel members even prompted to get a bit more specific information, but still, he didn't elaborate. No specific action given. Alex hasn't talked about what he specifically did to solve the problem. Finally, Alex embellished the result by saying that the excellent mark was all due to his own work. Let's look at how the candidate may have responded more appropriately.
James, could you please provide us with an example of a difficult situation or problem that you faced and how you went about resolving it and what the outcome was?
Well, the first one that comes to mind was a situation at university where I was coordinating a group assignment where we had to run a mock company and hand in all the paperwork and financials for the end of the financial year.
So what did you find difficult here?
Well, since I was the group coordinator, there was a lot riding on me to make it as good as it could possibly be. But there was one person who never showed up to the meetings or contributed to the assignment in any way.
So what did you do?
Well, the group and I had a meeting to decide how we should go forward with that. And it was decided that I would have a meeting with the person concerned and see what could be done about it. I had the meeting and they were at once very apologetic for not coming along, but at the same time they explained that they had an awful lot of family issues going on at home. And I was sorry for them, but at the same time I had to be conscious that it wasn't fair to the rest of the group.
I can see that would have been a difficult situation for you. What did you do next?
Well, I thought long and hard about it. It was a tricky situation, but I eventually decided to have a meeting with that person and course lecturer.
And then what happened?
Well, the course lecturer was very understanding. She gave the person an exemption from the assignment and said that they could get the marks back at a later date, which allowed us to reallocate all the different bits and pieces in the assignment out to all the other members of the group. And therefore, we managed to complete everything on time and get everything done. And we did really well for the assignment. We actually got a high distinction.
Great.
So when we look back again to our question, we can see that James was really thinking STAR this time. He described a specific situation, talked through the different steps he specifically took to resolve it, and then concluded concisely with the end result. He spoke to each panel member in turn and maintained good eye contact with the group. James's presentation is also much more impressive, and he has shown leadership and initiative in his decision-making process. From his answer, the panel has a clear picture of how well James works in a group to solve issues as they arise. So, in summary, there are some good lessons to be learned about what does and doesn't come across well in an interview situation. My top 3 do's and don'ts are: do answer all questions using the STAR technique. Do maintain eye contact with all panel members. And do be focused, confident, and enthusiastic. Don't be vague with your responses. Don't be too casual, overly confident, or friendly. And don't forget your body language. Be sure to sit up straight, don't fidget, and focus on the questions and your answers.
Okay. I hope that that was enlightening to you, in that it gave you an example of how you can answer it, how not to answer. Yes.
This is a tomato.
Oh.
Think it's good for you?
Sorry about that.
Think again.
Sorry about that. Sorry about that. I left that video running. And so in the STAR method, this is just another example. We will be able to provide this PowerPoint to you, and it's just another example that you can also have. I'm not going to go through this particular slide. We're going to go to the next slide. Next, we're going to talk about phone interview tips. So at the end, we're going to actually practice. We're going to put you in breakout rooms, and you'll be able to have that information for you to practice. But we're going to talk about the phone interview. So now with COVID, even more, sometimes your interviews will start out with a phone interview, and you will also be able to want to make sure you're very serious about this. So take it as seriously as an in-person interview. You want to focus and remove distractions. You want to sit at a desk or a kitchen table or in the dining room, or dining room table. Don't get too comfortable, the same thing, because when you are physically comfortable, it's going to change the tone and your confidence in the way you answer your questions. You also want to listen and don't try to dominate the conversation. You want to answer the questions that they ask, but make sure you pace yourself. You want to slow down and take a deep breath, and you want to smile. And although it's on the phone, when you answer questions on the phone and you're smiling, it changes the way that delivery is done with what you have to say. And then next is online interviews. When you do an online interview, there are some things you have to do slightly different from an in-person interview. And most of our interviews will be online now, at least for the next near future. So remember that an online interview is just as important as an in-person interview. Your interview could get you to the next round of the job interviewing process, or it could even get you the offer, depending on how the company is scheduling their interviews. You want to dress professionally. I know some people are dressing just the top half, but we prefer and recommend you just get the complete outfit on, because heaven forbid if you have to get up or something and have to move and you don't have the entire outfit on. Make sure you clear your workspace of any clutter behind you. Make sure, even if you use a bookshelf, that there aren't books that are inappropriate or there's pictures inappropriate behind you. Make sure you're in a quiet room. Always have a piece of paper and pen, and have a copy of your resume in front of you. You want to make sure you practice using your webcam, camera equipment before the interview. You don't want to get at the interview and, like I didn't have the video pulled up. You don't want to do that. You want to make sure you have everything set beforehand. You want to also make sure you smile and focus on the camera and the interviewers. You want to choose your colors wisely. You want to make sure you use shades of blue, royal, navy, or sky blue. You want to wear solids instead of patterns when you interview. You want to make sure your hair and your makeup are clean cut and professional. And you also want to check your background. I can't say that enough. Your bookshelf, any chairs or papers or extraneous things, make sure everything behind you is set and clear. Make sure your lighting is okay. Avoid shadows. You know, if you choose to sit in the window for light, you want to make sure the light's coming from behind the screen and not in front of the screen. I know you may be familiar with that, but once you practice and see how the lighting looks, you don't want to look dark or they can't see your face. And so if you have the light behind you, then it's going to be a shadow on your face and they won't be able to see you. You want a script and have a few notes written down so you can scan your notes without losing direct contact with your caller, and keep an index card or a notebook to jot down any questions or thoughts that you may have as they're asking you questions. Pick out those keywords to make sure you understand what they're asking you and write those down. So when you answer the question, you won't have to say, can you repeat that again? You want to make sure you have gotten the key words out of the question. Make sure you have a quiet place. You want to turn off all your sound, no music, no noise, no babies. You know, I had some coworkers who've been doing mock interviews with students and they're coming in not dressed correctly, babies crying, people running through the screen. You want to get in the room. If you have someone that can keep your children, close the door. Make sure people won't be able to run behind you. You know, with COVID and all the family being at home, I know it's a little bit difficult, but you ought to be able to find a way to find appropriate setting for you. And you may want to turn the notifications off on your computer so things won't pop up on your screen. When you dress for the interview, there's different types of dress. There's business professional. This is how you will go to the interview, whether it's online or in person. And then there's business casual. So business professional is how you interview. Business casual, like Ms. Moses and I have on business casual. We have a button-down collar shirt on today. And so we're in business casual. And that's usually after you've gotten a job. Now, if they tell you to dress business casual, then dress business casual. But if they don't tell you, always go professional first. The trendy fashion that you see on television and in magazines is not appropriate for the interview. And then your casual wear that you may wear to a picnic or a company event on Fridays, that's different. So for the interview, we want you in professional attire. Now, the day of the interview, always arrive 15 minutes early. I want to congratulate those students that were online early today. When I set up the Zoom room at 12 o'clock, I had students join right away and they waited patiently, and so I knew they were going to be participating. Make sure you have a copy of your resume. If you're in person, make sure you have copies for the interviewers. You don't know if they would have had a chance to go over it or have a copy in front of them. And we used to say, introduce yourself with a firm handshake and eye contact. But now with COVID, we're waiting to see what the response is going to be. And so we recommend, if you have to do an in-person interview, you may want to get you some gloves to put on, but we definitely want you to continue to have that eye contact. But most of our companies that we talk to will be conducting their interviews online or on the phone, or a combination of the two. During the interview, you want to always ask questions. And when I say that at the end of the interview, they'll generally say, do you have any questions for us? Now, whether it's an internship or a full-time position, you don't want to ever not ask questions, because this is going to be a place where you're going to either gain some experience or you're going to be spending a great amount of time in your career. So you want to make sure it's a fit for you, as well as them trying to find out if it's a fit for them. So you want to ask some questions like, if they hadn't told you, What is your timeline to fill the position? Can you tell me more about the day-to-day job responsibilities of this job? What is a typical career path for someone in this role? What are some of the things you enjoy most about the company culture? Or what are your expectations for this role during the first 30 days or 60 days? Or you're not, don't ask all, just pick one. So always have 3 questions prepared for the end of your interview. Employers are looking for that. They want to know what kinds of questions you're going to ask. And I have a whole list of questions. You can Google questions as well. There are some I like better than others, but I do have a list. If you want that list, I can send it to you afterwards. Just so I remember, if you didn't register via Handshake, we definitely want you to make sure you go into Handshake so we can mark you present at this event today. Hopefully everyone had to register today so we can have your email address. And remember to always smile, answer questions by using stories and examples. So when you're telling a STAR method answer, you're basically telling a story from beginning to end and giving examples of the work that you've done. Be ready for a variety of questions. Look the interview in the eye, exhibit enthusiasm, avoid ums and any other kind of ineffective responses, take notes and ask questions, and then end with a thank you. You may not be able to end with a handshake, and that's why I put those around that word, but just make sure you are prepared. Words of caution. Don't blame poor performance on past employers, workplaces, bosses, or coworkers, because although you may complain about a situation, that is actually a reflection on you to talk about something negative. Always keep things positive in your interview. If they ask you, talk about a time when your work was criticized, even though your work was criticized, you want to talk about what you've learned. So it could have been you're in a class and you had a paper that was criticized and you took from that the information and you learn how to be a better writer. And so you learn how to grow as a writer. Make sure you make eye contact with the interviewer, avoid poor posture, use gestures wisely, avoid tapping your hands or feet, and always ask questions when given an opportunity. After the interview, you want to ask for a business card or ask for the contact information. You want to send a thank you note, and then you want to follow up within a week or the timeline that they provided. So always send a thank you note. Some employers are looking for that. They want to see how you're going to respond after an interview and the opportunity to interview with them. So it could be done via email or written. Some employers are impressed by written thank you notes, and some are just as satisfied with an email saying thank you to HR and the hiring managers if they give the email address. So here are some of the resources. You can schedule a mock interview. We actually have a mock interview scheduled for STEM students on July 23rd. I'm going to show that in just a moment. You should have, if you signed up for this session prior to today, you should have received an email at 12:45 that has the list of the behavioral questions we're getting ready to practice, the mock interview rubric, and some of the job descriptions that we're going to use for your mock interview practice today. And so we're getting ready to practice. I'm going to actually, I'm going to go through the rest of it, and then I'm going to come back to this because I want to make sure we cover well, actually we have 30 minutes, but let's go ahead and go into the breakout rooms. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, in the chat, I'm going to try to drop. Is there anyone in the meeting that did not sign up or register before today? If you signed up, if you just joined today and you did not pre-register on Handshake, I need you to put a message in the chat. Okay, I have at least 2. So I'm going to drop some documents in the chat, and I need you to download them so that you will be able to answer these questions. In just a moment. So I'm going to send these to you in the chat, and you need to download them. So I'm trying to find my file. Okay. So if everyone else received their email, if you could take a moment and go get that now, because it has everything. I'm only going to drop a couple of the documents in this chat room because I think it'll be too many otherwise. So I'm going to send you the list of questions because each room has a set of questions that you need to answer. Okay, what is it saying? Okay, yeah, I'm going to show the file first before I, okay. So when you get this file, this is what it's going to look like. It's going to have breakout room 1, 2, and 3, all the way up to breakout room 615. And when you get assigned to your room, each one of you are going to take turns answering the question that's assigned to your breakout room. So one person is going to answer one and the other person will answer the second one. So I'm gonna stop sharing that. And so anybody have any questions about what we're doing right now? Okay, it doesn't like me. It doesn't like me doing that. So I had at least 3 people that said that they didn't get the file, the email. So I'm gonna try it one more time. It's not letting me drop the file. Technology is amazing. Anybody have any questions while I try to get this file to the other three people? Yes, you will be able to get the slide presentation, and I haven't dropped the file yet because it keeps giving me an error. Okay. So I tell you what, the people who, everybody has it, hopefully when we go into the 2 breakout rooms, in the breakout rooms, at least one person will have the file. Everybody else did get the email, is that correct? So I'm gonna go ahead and start sending everybody to breakout rooms, and then hopefully me and Ms. Moses are going to drop into the breakout room. You're gonna have about 10 minutes. Okay, nobody has an email? Did anybody get an email? No one got the email. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna go and send the email again. Let me do this. Let me pull the file up. I know what I can do. This may be kind of a bit much, but I thought I had closed this. Okay, the reason why it wouldn't go is because I didn't close it. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm going to send you all to the breakout rooms, but right now I'm gonna drop these questions just because, okay. I'm gonna drop these questions in, and then if you all wanna cut and paste it out, and then when you go to your breakout room, you will have the question for your breakout room. Well, can you all do that for me since the file sharing is not working right now? Can I get a yes? That works. Okay, great. Thank you, John David. Okay, so I'm getting ready to now send you all in breakout rooms. So it will just be 2 random people put in a breakout room, and Ms. Moses and I will come visit the rooms and make sure you all are okay with what you're supposed to do. So you're supposed to use the STAR method to answer the question. So she had also put that in the chat. So hopefully you got that. So I'm getting ready to start. 10, we're gonna have 10 rooms, okay. And so you'll have to say accept the join the breakout room. So go ahead and accept the joining of your breakout room on your screen. Okay, I need you to just hit the join. Very good. Everybody's going. We're almost there. Okay. I need the rest of y'all to join. There you go. Hit accept the join, the breakout room. Is everybody there? Vasu and Karuthi and Yi, Sharisa and Cedric, are you all having trouble? Can you please join the room? It's trying to get me to join the breakout room. I said later. Oh, okay, Sheila. Okay. Yes, we need to make sure there's 2 people in the room. Vasai, your person is waiting on you. Can you go to your room? Cedric, can you go to your room? Sheila, you may have to go into the room with Batu. Kathy Batu, she doesn't have a partner. He or she doesn't have a partner. Yes. Is no one in the room with you? How are you?
Sure. Oh, I'm good. Thanks. How are you?
All right, we're trying. This is the first time we're doing this. So hopefully, did you get the questions?
Actually, not. It's not in this chat room.
Okay.
No,
yeah,
it's not.
let me put it in here. Let me see if I can put it in here now.
Oh, thank you.
I'm gonna send it to you. Okay, there you go. Now,
yeah, I get it.
you may have to practice with me, so I'm gonna come back. You're in what room are we in? Breakout room. What? You know your number, the room number?
My room number is 10.
Number 10. Okay, I'm gonna come back. I need to go back and make sure everybody's okay, and then I'll be right back, or I may move someone in the room with you. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, Sheila, thank you. What was happening with Vasu? He's still not going to.
It's not letting me, it's keep making me to try to go in breakout room 8, go in it and sign out, but then it won't take me to join another room.
Okay, I'm gonna move you. Where you want to go? 1?
Well, I'm not for sure where Vasu is.
Vasu is in 1.
Okay.
But he hasn't joined. He's
okay.
He hasn't joined. So I'm gonna move him back to the it doesn't even give me an option to move him back to us. So I'm gonna move you to 1 to talk to Sakat, and then you can maybe let him practice with you.
Now see, I'm just showing it's just 3 participants left. Just me, you, and Vasu.
I know, but I just moved you to.
Okay, so I see that person. I couldn't see that person at first.
Okay, are we in room 1? We're in room 1. Hello. They're not here though. Neither of them are here. Their light is not green. Okay, the other one should be practicing. I think they're in there. So you want to go?
So right now it's got me to sign into break room 1.
Yeah, you go ahead and accept. Well, nobody's in there because Vasu or Sakat have not joined. And I don't know if they walked away from their computer or they're frozen. Okay, so you want to move to, you can move around, right? You can go to another room.
It said at first, but when I click on breakout rooms, like right now it's telling me I'm assigned to breakout room.
Okay, let me see I'm gonna move you to 2 so you can go talk to them, okay?
Hi, Dr. Jada.
Hey, you know what, we can stay here. Well, we can stay here and I guess you can practice with me because we had one person that looked like they were stuck. Let me go look at the rooms again. Yeah, everybody else is in the room, so, and they're paired off. So I guess you got to practice with me. Can you turn your camera on?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. And how do you say your first name?
It's a Psychet.
Psychet. Okay, all right. So we are breakout room 1.
Yeah.
So you should be answering the first question. So you want to go ahead and try that question?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, and can you read the question? Because I don't have my thing in front of me.
Yeah, the question is like, so there are 2 questions actually. The first one is give an example of an occasion when you used logic to solve a problem.
Okay.
So yeah, so I can say when I was a software engineer at Samsung Electronics, I had the same situation. So we have to fix a problem. This is the, we call it an issue.
Mm-hmm.
So for that issue, I provided a solution to my manager, but manager was saying like the solution is not, it is correct, but it will take a longer time than his solution. Mm-hmm. So then what I was actually done, like I worked in both solutions, both my and my manager's solution. Mm-hmm. So at the deadline 10, when I told him that my solution is providing a better results than his solution, mm-hmm. then he found, okay, then we can consider your solution. But I have actually worked with both solutions.
Okay, so what did you actually do to solve the problem?
Okay, so do I need to tell the very detail of the technical problem?
Well, a lightweight, not like.
Okay.
Yeah. So the situation was, what was broken? What was the problem?
Okay. So the problem was like like server client networking problem. So when we're sending a message, like there's a text message, like when we're enable a service, a text message is sending to a person, like a two-way verification code. Mm-hmm. So the problem was like, it will sending 3 times in a day, but after 3 times it will block for the time. But the problem was, it was sending like 2 or 3 times in a wrong way.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. So the thing is that a legitimate user cannot get the service.
Okay.
And it's every time they're requesting for the service, but they're not getting the messages because they're exceeding that 3 times.
Okay.
So that's why I provide a solution for this one. Like there are some communication delay, like there was a time gap actually. So the server was located on a different location, and client one is in different time zone. So the problem occurs due to that the time zone issue. And he was providing that if we can use like changing some parameter that we can send multiple times text messages, but that doesn't work actually. It's because there are some limitation that a hacker can get into the system and send the request multiple times. Then they will get maybe 100 times of the message. The system will be jammed.
Wow.
Yeah. So that was the problem. So initially, when we found that there was a problem on the time zone issues, we have fixed it, and it will not take that much of time. So there are 2 types of solution, and we, like my manager preferred my solution, and we went through this way.
Okay, and so what was your, without a long explanation, was it can you say anything specific you did? Like, did you use a certain language? Did you use a certain,
Okay.
What were you using to code or develop this?
Yeah, so basically it was like implemented by the Java language.
Java, okay.
It was like the Java mobile application. So when I was working with these, the Samsung phones, so they have some chat-ons. So I think if you have known this term, chat-on.
Yes.
Like an application like Facebook. So before Facebook, they have that chat-on.
Okay.
So they have some issues, and those chat-ons developed with the Java, the mobile development kit, under Java languages. So I have written some codes on there to fix that issue.
Okay. All right. So so your solution was the one that was selected, and everybody was happy because they stopped getting all these multiple chats, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Okay. So you see the difference in, you gave me a really short example first, and then I had to prompt you to come back to give me a little bit more detail. Okay. Now, when you're in a technical interview with a hiring manager, now HR manager, hiring manager, those are 2 different types of interviews. But with the technical manager, they'll understand the Java and all the explanations that you'll give. And so they'll be looking for you to express your knowledge about how you solved it, and you can talk about the types of Java code that you use. Of course, I would be considered HR, so I wouldn't understand all that, but that's how you solve a STAR method interview. I mean, how you answer a STAR method question, and then talk about the results and how it was successful and how it solved the problem. And so I know we did it the first time, it was a little short version, then you expand a little bit more, you expand a little bit more. And so that's why it's important to practice. Okay. I'm gonna say, Nicholas, can you tell me if you were in a breakout room and you were able to practice with someone? Nicholas. So.
Yeah, I have a question if Nicholas is not.
Yes.
So
let me go, and I think we may have been in 8 minutes. I'm gonna send a message to the rooms and see if everybody's finished practicing first. Okay. Okay, Nicholas, you were not able to practice. Your mic is not working properly. Okay. I just wanted to double check on that because that would be hard for you to practice. So we'll be back. We'll be joining everybody back in just a moment. Guys, I'm going to go visit a couple of rooms. Sakat, keep your answer. I just want to make sure everybody's okay, so I'll be right back.
Hello.
Hi, how's it going?
It's good. We finished our questions.
Okay. Was it easier or harder than you thought it was going to be?
Definitely harder.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so you all are going to start making sure you practice before we get to our first career fair, right? With people?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I just wanted to jump in and make sure, and I'm going to go to the other rooms real quick because I had somebody that got stuck in the main room and didn't have a partner, so we had to do it. So I'll be right back. I'll be closing out the breakout rooms in just a moment, okay? So y'all just continue to chat.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Hello, how you all doing in here?
Doing good.
Great. Chopping it up.
Are y'all finished?
Yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there. All right. Let me answer a couple of these real quick. Let's start with.
Wait a minute. Hold on, John David. Have each of you had a chance to answer?
I had my turn to blow a lot of hot air. He has not had his chance yet.
Okay, I'm gonna let you all keep going because we had some people had problems. So I'm just checking with the rooms to see how much time do you think you need?
Maybe about 5 minutes. He had a chance to go through his, and then we kind of got to know each other a little bit. So maybe about 5 minutes.
We're supposed to end at 2. So if y'all want to stay on later, we can give you time at the end. But I'm gonna bring everybody back in a minute. Okay. So go ahead, John David. While I'm gone, get your question answered. Okay.
All righty. Okay. Number 1, give an example.
I had one person that was just getting ready to answer their question. So I'm gonna go ahead and, you think I should go ahead and close it out, Sheila?
Yes.
Okay.
I just text everyone to leave the breakout room and enter back to the main session.
I'm gonna go ahead and close them. I can
close it out. Yes.
They're gonna have 60 seconds. John David didn't get a chance to practice. Okay, in a few seconds, everybody will be forced to come back. So I'm gonna go ahead and start asking Jeremy, how was it? How was that practice?
It was all right.
It was all right. Was it easier or harder than you thought it was gonna be?
Harder, actually. It was difficult coming up with the actual storylines themselves that would fit into these situations.
Right. So that means that when you have these types of questions in your hand, you have time now to practice and make sure you have examples for each case, right?
Right. There's no way you can make this up on the spot.
Right. And some of them you will have to, but if you have enough list of examples, then you can at least trigger on them because you would have practiced. Let's see, Joshua, how was it for you?
It was a great cathartic experience to get it out, see how you can get long-winded and also see how you can run out of steam.
Yes.
I think it's very important to practice these things ahead of time. Just kind of have a guideline of where you want to go. What do you want to show them about you?
Right. Okay. Good. Thank you, Joshua and Jeremy, for sharing. Dulcie?
Yeah, it was kind of hard for me to come up with an experience because I'm like, I don't have that much experience. So yeah, but it was a good, it was good to practice like that. Now I know like how I'm supposed to react like that. So, yeah.
So Dulcie, I want to say, have you ever volunteered? Have you ever helped someone? Because it doesn't have to be your examples don't have to be from a project from a job. It can be from something you've done in a class, something you've done with the group, something you've done in the community. And so you can still use those. That's why these types of questions are general enough that you can use transferable skills. So think about it from that perspective. If you've not had an internship, if you volunteer to help someone, if you've been an officer in an organization, and if you realize you're lacking in any examples to give, then that means that between now and next summer, you need to make sure you engage in organizations and volunteer activities so you can have some examples and stories to tell. Does that make sense, Dulcie?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
She ended up pulling it through. She shared an experience from her sophomore year, so she came through.
Okay, good. Let's see, who else? Let's see, Cody, would you like to share how that experience was for you?
It was, kind of hard thinking about certain things to say because it's a lot of stuff that we do in our lifetime that we may not think that's challenging, but would be like a perfect example for that question. So it was just kind of hard trying to think of certain stuff to speak on.
Okay, very good. And that's why we wanted you to do this, because we need you to know it does take practice. Now, I'm going to challenge everybody on here right now. If you can turn your camera on, hopefully you all are decent and not under the bed or in full pajamas. But I want to see your faces. I want to know who you are. As we have to connect on the social media platform, I'm going to stop sharing my screen right now so we can have a bigger screen. It's going to be important for you to be comfortable with sharing your screen, making sure you have your background, and we're networking right now. Networking is so key for you connecting with these employers and getting them to know who you are. And on a social media platform, it is very important that if they ask you to share your screen, you'll be presentable so you can share your screen. As well as, it's a great photo op. If you're okay with me taking a photo off, so we can say we got some interviewing tips today. So I have Isabel with left and Nicholas. I don't know if you can show your cameras or not, but I think this would be a great, but I wanted to see who you were. So if, I see you on campus, if we're on campus, if you're in one of our other presentations, I want to know that you've been here, because guess what? Companies call us all the time and say, do you know a student I can recommend to a position or to talk to or to get engaged in something. So now I see your faces. Hello, everyone. And so I wanted to ask, who has not talked to me today? Zedric and let's see, Madeline, I think you talked to me in the breakout room. And Nita, I need y'all to talk to me. How was that experience, starting with Zedric?
Hi, Miss Meeks. It was really good. I actually did better than I thought I would, so that was very helpful, and I appreciate the assistance with the breakout rooms.
Okay.
And nice to see you again, Miss Moses, by the way.
And so, Zedric, if you have an online interview, definitely do not have the window behind you in the future, because there's a big cloud. I mean, like it's a shadow. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so thank you, Zedric. So let's go to Madeline.
Hi, Dr. Meeks.
Hi.
Luckily, I could think of a situation for the question, but it was definitely, difficult to think on your feet and try to hit all the points of the STAR method. And it definitely showed you, where your strengths and your weaknesses lie. So it's definitely a helpful exercise and definitely need to practice a lot more.
Okay. Thank you, Madeline. And Nita.
Hi, Dr. Meeks. Well, actually, it was a great experience for me. At first, it was kind of hard to think about how such experiences I had, but after a couple of minutes, I just found that not only in my professional experiences, but also in my social and personal life, I came up with these failures and such experiences. So it was great to think about.
Okay, good. Isabel.
Hi. I'm sorry, could you repeat the question? I was having technical issues.
Oh, so Cody, I don't know what you said, I'm good, but I'm gonna make you talk. So Isabel, you said, I asked the question, how was the experience with answering the question using the STAR method, and was it easy, hard? Sharisha, I'm coming to you too, so come on.
It was a very interesting experience, especially for the question that we were given. Mainly, I'm honestly really bad with talking in front of people. I'm so sorry. But it was a very interesting experience, and it was good to practice because I haven't formally thought about using the STAR method before. So it's really nice to have an opportunity to learn how to use it properly.
So you did great, Isabel. And you got to get over that. What's your major, Isabel?
I'm going to be starting my master's in information systems. So you're right. I need to really be more comfortable with this kind of situation.
Okay, so you're going to have to talk. You're going to have to talk sometime. Okay, Cody, what were you talking about? What? You say you're good. What are you good on?
Somebody messaged me in the chat.
It was supposed to be a private message. Okay, all right. Sharisha and then Nicholas, we're gonna get you to talk. It looked like you fixed your technical issues, but Sharisha.
Yeah, it's like a very wonderful experience for me. In the initial stage, I was a little bit nervous, but later I feel free to talk on the topic.
Okay, very good. Cody, come on, Cody. No, Cody's house. It was Nicholas. Come on, Nicholas. Do we have, there you go. All right. I can, okay, speak a little louder.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, this is actually a very great experience for me because, I mean, I'm not used to being in an interview or anything as technical and being prepared for stuff like that. So this is very helpful, especially for engineering and being, trying to further your career and stuff. So it's a wonderful experience to be part of this.
Okay, I'm glad. Thank you, Nicholas. So if we hosted more of these practice type sessions, would you all join? Because I know you get busy. When school kicks in, y'all gonna have homework, y'all gonna be all over the place. But what I want companies to say when they come to see a STEM major at the U of M, I want them to say, oh my goodness, y'all need to find out what they're doing at the University of Memphis, because every STEM student is acing the interview. That's what I want you all to be able to do. And the only way we can do that is if we practice, right? So, Ms. Moses, do you think we can figure out a way to let them have little practice sessions? Okay. All right. Well, look, I'm just loving this. You all look so great. How's your summer going? I'm not going to go into that. Hopefully you all are staying safe. I got a few more things I need to show you, but y'all just look so good to me. I'm so glad you all joined us on today. So let me go and pull up my last few slides. You all are lovely. You all look beautiful and handsome. Okay.
And if Dr. Meeks pulled up her last slides. So take advantage when we send out stuff that employers are doing too, because we have employers like the mock interviews coming up, and I normally have employers either when we get back on campus or a lot of more virtual events. So take advantage of those opportunities to actually practice with hiring managers.
Yes. One of the things you're going to find is that when we have those events this summer, we have virtual employer panels. I mean, people have gotten full-time jobs out of just participating in that and following up and saying, thank you for participating and can we talk? And I've gotten emails from students that have gotten hired since the beginning of the summer full-time. So this networking is key. These are two websites you want to make sure you record. Ask Dr. Meeks webinars. I have a YouTube channel for our STEM majors, and this session will be there once I'm able to upload it. And there's other videos on other techniques that you're gonna wanna watch. So there's webinars on all kinds of things, how to connect with employers online. I'm not sure if I've done the resume yet, but there's a lot of webinars there. You wanna make sure you go there. And then our website, the memphis.edu/STEM website, it has resume samples you can download, type your information in it. It has tips and pointers. I need everyone to have a great resume. And so go to the template and the checklist and then upload it in Tiger Link so me and Ms. Moses can get your resumes ready. Then the next thing is we have these events coming up. Hopefully everyone is signed up for the mock interviews with employers. I want you to get those answers ready. And so the mock interview, the employers can mock interview you on the 23rd. How many people are already signed up for that? Raise your hand. If you already signed up for that, okay, we got one. The rest of y'all, I need y'all to sign up for that. There's a job that says mock STEM interviews. I need you all to sign up for that and be ready to practice with an employer. And that is another networking opportunity, because you might get an internship later by participating in mock interviews. We have the All Majors Career Fair that'll be September 15th. On October 9th, it will be the Engineering Career Fair. And then October 30th, it will be the Science, Technology, and Math. We're gonna go virtual for the Science, Technology, and Math. Ms. Moses, have you decided about the Engineering Fair yet?
Not yet, but we leaning towards virtual.
So we haven't decided about those two other ones, but STEM will definitely be virtual. These are our social media handles, U of M STEM Careers on Facebook, Instagram, I think, and Twitter. So if you're on social media, please follow us. And you can make an appointment with me via handshake. You can make an appointment with Ms. Moses via email. And if this was impactful to you, email us and let us know. Tell us what you love the most, what you want to see more of, and we'll try to provide it for you. And so I'm gonna say thank you. Anybody got any questions or comments?
I do want to say that, you know, when you're doing interviews, that it's much easier when you're, you know, having a good time, building a rapport, and just kind of like building a relationship. I know me and Joshua, we practice. I guess getting to know your interviewer would be, you know, ideal. So just have fun with it, I guess.
Thank you, John David. Anybody else? Comments, questions? All right, well, we went a little bit over. Thank you all for hanging in here with us. This will be posted on YouTube. If you did not register in Handshake, please make sure you email us so we can get you the PowerPoint. It will have to be a link. It's too large for me to send it directly. So we're excited you were here. We hope it was helpful, and we look forward to seeing you at the next event. Ms. Moses. Last words.
Thanks for participating and staying on with us. And like I said in the chat, just continue to be safe and stay well.
Okay. Thank you all. Have a good day, and we'll see you hopefully all on the 23rd. On the 23rd. Bye-bye.
Bye.